It generates, like, these are the things it generates: audio, video, you name it, anything it generates, correct? And why do we need generative AI? Why we need generative AI? Very simple, the answer. Yes, you are correct. It is fast. It's fast and it's very creative, and you can automate it, automation. You can do automation, personalization, and what else? Handling repetitive talks. If you wanted to automate any routine task, right? You can do it. For example, every week, Monday, the previous week, data you need to take it, and then you wanted to generate a report. Yes, you can, automate it, right? So you can use LLM, and you pass the data to LLM, and then ask the LLM to generate so and so questions, and then store it in an Excel file, and then send it to your manager using email or something like that, right? You can set up, you can do automation. It is fast. It is it is fast and it's creative, and using which you can do automation. So for that reason, we need Gen AI. So next question is how it is different from traditional machine learning. How generative AI is different from AI, conventional AI, different from AI. Very simple, one-liner answer. Machine learning, ML is nothing but AI, right? ML predicts, then AI generates. That's all, right? So basically, the traditional ML is evaluating the answers. Gen AI is like writing the entire answer paper. Correct? Yeah. So that is what. This is something like evaluating the answers. Okay, whether the given person is going to default. If I give the loan, it gives us yes or no, right? And whereas when it comes to Gen AI, it is something like writing the entire answer paper. Why that person is going to default. On what basis you are saying that person is not going to default? You give me a content for this. It gives you a text, right? Text like content. It gives you so as a reason. I predicted this person is going to default. Okay, it gives you the story also, correct? So what are the use cases? Give me one use case from retail, e-commerce, and healthcare, guys. In e-commerce, AI generates what? Product listings. You can generate the product description, and also in the case of healthcare, right? AI summarizes patient history. For example, if patient is going to get discharged today, so in that kind of situation, it gives you the discharge summary, correct? 1 second, guys. Okay. So healthcare, right? It summarizes patient reports, even in the case of clinical reports, right? In the case of pharmaceutical, it generates the reports as per the complaints, CIPA complaints or something like that. Okay. So now that you understood what is Gen AI, why Gen AI, how it is different from machine learning. Okay, in the few use cases we discussed, across the industry, right? In the healthcare and um, the e-commerce company also we discussed. Okay. Next, what we'll do is, right, we will understand. So what are LLMs? Yesterday also we discussed. So what are LLMs? LLM stands for large language model. Large language model. Large language model. It's a deep learning model. It's nothing but a deep learning model. It's a deep learning model trained on, as I told you, right, trained on billions of internet data or billions of words, billions and billions of words. It learns grammar, logic, what else? You name anything. It does the reasoning, guys. Generating the content is fine, but the whatever the content generated, is that is that an answer for the questions whatever I asked? Yes. In order to give the apt reply to my question, it has to do reasoning. It is not blindly generating the text. It is doing the reason, right? Behind the scene, it does the reasoning, and then it has a word knowledge. It has a patterns of conversation, everything. It can generate, summarize, translate, even translation also it can do, right? So and then classify. It has the right. So yeah, I just write it here. So LLMs can. It can. Wait. It's not part of this one. If you give a 10-page document, if you ask him to summarizes, it can does, right? It can generate. It not only generate the content and also it summarizes the given data or let's say you copy paste, or let's say you upload a 2-page or 3-page of your the lease document, or the sale deed in the ChatGPT, and if you ask him to summarize it, right, it summarizes it. And not only that, for example, in your company you can see that other project they have written 1,000 lines of code in their script, Python script. But instead of understanding each and every line of code, to understand the complete context of that script, it takes time, right? Simply upload the script in the ChatGPT, and you ask him, hey, can you please give me the overview of what this script does? But it gives you in plain English language. What are the functionalities are implemented as part of this script? It gives us. How many of you tried this, guys? Translate. For example, I just go here, and then I'll show you one example here. 1 second. And I just go here and I go to ChatGPT. And here, what I will do, right? I have my one script project script is there. The reason why I'm showing, right, in your existing project also, you can use the same way, okay? And here, this is my project. We create one reusable component. And when you open it, you can see, right, almost closer to 1,000 lines of code will be there, okay? And as a beginner, when you see this one, when you open and see the code, you will not be able to understand anything, right? Maybe you are a good programmer, but still it takes time for you to understand the big picture of this code. First, you need to understand the big picture. Look here, I just open it in the plain Notepad++. When you see that, right, you can see the comments are there. With the comments, you can try to understand. Even if you are an experienced person, it will take some time for you to understand what functionality that we implemented. For example, right, I uploaded my script here. Please give me at a high level what this attached script does. Look here. Comprehensive PIP redaction engine built for ETS style. It detects sensitive information using comprehend and fully redacted email or rejects the redaction means masking the data. Okay. Okay, here is a function at high level. Comprehend what it does. Regex. How many of you good with regex, guys? It's high time. If you do not know what is regex, you need to explore it. Spend as much time as possible in the chat GPT or Cloudy to understand, regex, and then merge, clean, and filter entities and threshold-based decisions, perform final redaction, and Lambda handler. In the case of Lambda, if you're using AWS Lambda, how you can use it, right? On the core, the key strength of the script is hybrid deduction engine, comprehend plus regex, learn algorithm for real credit cards. So whatever the features or whatever the functionalities carried out, by this script, you can get it here, right? And then if you go to the script, even if you are an experienced guy, right, you can go and, check it here. If he is a really, experienced guy, see, I hired one guy, a Python developer, almost 3 years back due to some, critical, situation or project, right? So one coder, there is something called one coder, one freelancing site is there. One guy came here. If I give any script, right, it takes just hardly a few minutes. And then, hey, this script is doing this one, and why you used for loop here, and why the try except is good, but for loop, why you are using it here, and why different functions are likewise. He throws the comment instantly. Experienced people, well experienced people, real experienced people. But for mid-level and the beginners to understand the content of the code, this is really helpful. Okay, to make it short, you can summarize the code also to get the context of it. You can use GenAI. Okay, translate. See, I took longer time to explain this one. Actually, you might think, right, I'm taking too much of time to explain these things, but as a beginner, initially, if I have to teach this way, it will be helpful. Okay, and reason with the language also. You can ask any question. Hey, what is the equivalent word in Hindi for this? And then if you have any Hindi thing, right, you copy paste it and then it translates and tells you. Now the question is, we worked with ChatGPT now, correct? Does ChatGPT is an LLM? Guys, can someone tell me, does ChatGPT is an LLM? Yes. Type it in the chat window, no? Question is, does ChatGPT is an LLM? Yes, man, obviously. Without large language model, ChatGPT is not there, right? Not only ChatGPT, okay, Cloudy, ChatGPT, yes, right? It's LLM. Not only ChatGPT, Cloudy. That's what we have said. Cloudy and what else? Cloudy, Llama, and Mistral Instruct. All are LLMs. All are LLMs, right? So next question is, yeah, Copilot. Very good, right? So Copilot. So yeah. So the next question is, why do we need LLM? As part of this question, why do we need generative AI, right? I answered this one. So the same thing, right? We need LLM because it allows the computers to understand and generate human language at scale. Not only the language, it understand what if you ask them to generate a text, audio, video, everything is possible. Okay. Okay. And okay, now the question is, Why do we need LLMs for generative AI? Very good question. Why do we need LLM for Gen AI? That is the fundamental building block, right? It's something like, why do we need a engine for a car? If somebody is asking this question, right? So LLM is like an engine, because without LLMs, Gen AI cannot understand or generate natural language, right? So LLM is the engine, man. Sorry, LLM is the engine. Okay, Gen AI is like a car. So the driving force behind Gen AI is LLM. Without LLM, Gen AI is not there. Okay, next question is, so what are the different types of okay, the question is how LLM is related to Gen AI. Same thing, right? Engine. LLM is the engine. Sheetal, it is an engine. Without engine, can you drive a car? No, right? Okay. So Gen AI is a broader field. It includes, generating text, image, audio, video, right? And LLMs are the text generation part of Gen AI. Yes, that's one way, you should be knowing it. Text generation part of Gen AI is your LLM. Okay. It's kind of a language department. Okay. What are the types of LLMs are there? Anybody has any questions? What are the types of LLMs? Hmm. Don't send it in WhatsApp. Send it in the chat, the Teams chat. Okay, so what are the types of LLMs are there? General purpose LLM. What is general purpose now? Like ChatGPT, Cloudy. Cloudy, these are the, general purpose, correct? And then Gemini. And the next one is the domain specific LLMs. How many of you heard about it? Sorry, even I'm not. Hmm. So you have something called Health GPT. And legal GPT, sorry, Health GPT, and next one is and finance GPT, legal GPT, and insurance claim reasoning models. Okay, and we have lightweight LLMs are also available. See, to run a LLM model, right, you need to have, a higher capacity servers, high-end servers you need it. Okay, not all can afford setting up a high-end servers, right? We have something called lightweight and on-device LLMs are also available. That's what Llama 3 and Mistral 7B, sorry, 7 billion parameter they're using it, and Pi 3 mini, and we have something like Gemma 2 billion. Okay, these LLMs can run on your laptops, guys. You don't need an expensive server. Okay, laptops or mobile phones. Mobile phone also these things can run. They're extremely fast and private also. Okay. Once you download this model in your laptop, and with this you can take your your personal, your office data. And then if you train your model, fine tune your model, it will be available locally. And then if you deploy it in your office server, this LLM model can be accessed only people inside your organization, virtual private network. They create something like virtual private network or VMware, something like that. How many of you are familiar with VMware and private? Okay. So now the question is, why do I need lightweight models? For privacy, right? Privacy and offline use and speed. You don't want your company data to be exposed to the outside world. Correct? Let's say you are working for a bank. The bank data, right, should not be accessed by everyone. And if you wanted to, if you wanted to plug in your bank database with your large language model like ChatGPT, what will happen? Customers' private data will be exposed because the ChatGPT, Cloudy, these are the general purpose large language model. When you use these general purpose large language model to do some analysis or generate some text or classify your internal customer sensitive data, in the case of banking, what will happen is the large language model can give the answers, whatever the questions that you ask it. At the same time, it reads the data, private data, and then make it public. If I ask, can you give me Ryan Ben's credit card number who lives in United States? Tuck, 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 if that gives, you're gone, right? So in that case, you can have a dedicated large language model set up in your office cloud, private cloud. So in that case, what will happen is, right, no one can, only the intended people can access this model, and then they can ask queries. Hey, how much balance do I have in my account? Okay, can you please give me a breakdown of, where I spent more last 2 months? Also, give me a suggestion how I can cut the cost, and, give me the suggestion how I could have spent in a better way. For example, I spend more money on Swiggy, right? So it can suggest something like, hey, you can go for Swiggy's, so and so thing, so that you don't have to pay the what is that? The delivery cost, right? Likewise. So these are the private thing. You can use it in your laptop, Llama 3, Mistral LB, all the things. Okay. Everything is cool, correct? As of now, we are clear. So we have seen what are the types of large language model, general purpose large language model, and domain specific large language model. And then now we have seen the lightweight on device large language model. Okay, what is next? Next comes the, okay. So which one is open source? Which all, the large language models are open source, which all things are commercial LLMs. Before we dive into the next topic, you should be knowing it. GPT-4 and GPT-5, these are commercial one. Gemini Advanced, commercial, and Cloudy Opus is also the commercial one, and Copilot, Microsoft Copilot LLM is also commercial one. The advantage of the commercial large language model is you can use it with your company specific data also. They can give you the guarantee that once your job is done, your data will be removed. Okay, they call it a zero keep hours or something. Okay, zero keeping hours, ZKH. Once my job, for example, I want to in my email, I want to mask the customer's sensitive data. Like, in the email, the customer can send out the credit card, bank account number, PIN number, everything. Let's assume that, they are sending it. They are sending it to my company. As a company owner, right, I should be responsible enough in terms of masking my customers' detail before using LLM. Before sending the email data to the LLM, I need to mask the data. Why should I send the emails, whatever I received from my customer to LLM? Can someone make a guess and send, give me the answer, no? If you are running a company, you are e-commerce company, customer is sending an email asking for refund or replacement. Now you want to send that email to the LLMs. Why do you need to send it, guys? Yesterday I told you, no? Why do we need to send it, the customer email to LLM? Customers per day, let's say in India alone, right? I'm getting 10,000 to 20,000 emails per day. So to read each email, to understand the content of the email or intention of the email, I need to deploy more number of staffs. That's a painful thing, right? Let's say per day I'm receiving 10,000 emails. Even if I put 100 employees, 100 staffs, how many emails they can read it and understand? Reading alone not sufficient. They need to understand the intention of that email, right? 100 staffs. Each staff should read how many emails? 100 emails per day. They have to read it and understand it. And based on the understanding, they need to reply back to the customer, right? Here the 100 staffs have to, what they have to do? Read, understand, and reply back to each customer. So even if I put 100 staffs, do you think each staff can read 100 emails per day? Is it possible? Even if they read 100 emails, there could be chances, right? They may read only 50 emails. They'll become fatigue, right? They'll be tired to understand each and every email and then responding it back. It takes time. Okay. So what you do, right? What are the emails that I received it from my customer? You send it to LLM. Large language model can understand each and every email's intention, and then it does the classification. Hey, this email is related to refund. Hey, this email is related to replacement. Hey, the email is related to the information when this product will the delivered, and this email is related to defective product which we shipped it. It can understand. Not only it can understand the intention of each and every email, and then it does the classification in one word, like replacement, refund, or product info, right? Likewise, one liner, it converts each and every email intention into classification or category. Once it converts that as a category, you can automate it, right? Hey, for this kind of email, what response we need to give it? You give it. So the LLM automatically reads 10,000 emails, and each and every email's intention it can understand and classify it. Based on the classification, it generates the automated response. Man, it's a matter of few seconds, everything will be done. So it replaces not only 100 staffs, 10,000, 100,000 staffs job in a matter of maximum 30 to 40 minutes. It finishes it off in a matter of 40 minutes, right? Even if you put 100 staffs, do you think they can read 100 emails realistically? 100 staffs into how much money? You'll have to shell out a lot of salary, bonus, insurance, provident fund. You need to pay a hell lot of thing, right? Here, in a matter of few minutes, everything is done. But the challenge here is 10,000 emails, I can send it. But if any of these emails contains the personal information, like age of the customer and the customer's date of birth, customer's personal information, other like credit card number, something like that, by mistakenly that comes here, right? That goes to LLM. We are exposing the customer's information. So in US, there is a strict law. இங்க தான் ஒரு லங்கு இல்ல லகாம் இல்ல நம்ம நாட்டுல இல்லையா? எவன் என்ன வேணா பண்ணிக்கலாம். இப்போ நம்ம கம்பெனி ஒரு ஜிஎஸ்டி ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணி போட்டாக்க என்ன பண்ணுவோம், இன்னொரு நாய் எடுத்து அதை வந்து நெட்டில் போட்டு விட்ருவோம். இந்த கம்பெனியோட ஓனர் இவன், அவனோட ஜிஎஸ்டி நம்பர் இதுன்னு போட்டு விட்ருவோம். இங்கே ஒன்றுமே இல்லை. பிகாஸ் வி ஆர் நாமினேட்டிங் யூஸ்லெஸ் தக்ஸ். அந்த இவனுக்கு என்ன தெரிய போகுது இல்லையா, சீஃப் மினிஸ்டருக்கு என்ன தெரிய போகுது, ஒரு இடமும் தெரியாது அவனுக்கு. ChatGPTன்னு போய் கேளு ஒன்றுமே அப்படின்னா என்னன்னு கேட்பான். இங்கே இல்லை, இங்கே போனாலும் நம்ம இந்தியாவில் எவனுக்கு ஒன்றுமே தெரியும், எக்ஸப்ட் ஆந்திரா பீப்புள், கேரளா பீப்புள், தே ஆர் குட், தே ஆர் லிட்ரேட். இங்கே வந்து இங்கே லிட்ரேட்டாக இருந்தால் கூட செமி லிட்ரேட் தான், ஒரு இடமும் தெரியாது. ஆனால் என்னன்னா எல்லாமே தெரிஞ்ச மாதிரி காமிச்சுக்குவானுங்க. பட் அங்கே யூஎஸில் அப்படி கிடையாது. யூஎஸ் யூகேல கூட எப்படின்னா, உன்னுடைய டேட் ஆஃப் பர்த் கூட வெளியில் தெரியக்கூடாது. உன்னுடைய டேட் ஆஃப் பர்த் தெரியக்கூடாது, உன்னுடைய நேம் தெரியக்கூடாது, உன்னுடைய சோஷியல் செக்யூரிட்டி நம்பர். These are the critical. They want to make sure that there is something called GDPR compliance. என்னுடைய கம்பெனிக்கு கஸ்டமர் தான் அனுப்பிச்சா, நானா அனுப்ப சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னு நீ சொல்லக்கூடாது. கஸ்டமர் அனுப்பிச்சிட்டான், ஆனா நீ என்ன ப்ரிவென்டிவ் மெஷர் எடுத்த, அதான் GDPR காம்ப்ளையன்ஸ். அது வந்து எவனா ஒரு கஸ்டமர் வந்து என்னுடைய நம்பர், கிரெடிட் கார்டு நம்பர் வந்து வெளியில யாருக்கோ ஒருத்தர் ஹேக் பண்ணிட்டான்னா, they will do a complete traceability. எங்கேருந்து எங்கே வந்தது, எங்கேருந்து அவனை கேட்பான். அவன் வந்து எல்லாமே சொல்லுவான், இமெயில் அனுப்பிச்சா அது ஒரு மனுக்கு, இவனுக்கு அனுப்பிச்சா அதில் போச்சு, இன்னொரு இடத்துல நான் வந்து ஆன்லைனில் யூஸ் பண்ணேன். எல்லா இடத்துலையும் வந்து சைபர் கிரைமில் செக் பண்ணினா அப்புறம் கண்டிப்பாக இது they will trace out. ஓ, இந்த கம்பெனிக்கு நீ அனுப்பிச்ச இமெயில் கிரெடிட் கார்டு அனுப்பிச்சிருக்க, அப்போ இந்த கம்பெனிக்காரனை பிடிச்சிக்குவோம். நீ எப்படி வந்து இந்த இமெயிலை நீ LLMக்கு அனுப்பிச்ச? Did he not mask his credit card number? நோ, சாரி மிஸ், சாரி எல்லாம் இங்கே கிடையாது. ஃபைன், பெரிய ஃபைன் போட வச்சிருவோம். யூ வில் பி இன் டீப் ஷிட். ஓகேவா? So that's the biggest thing, right? So in US, GDPR compliance is there, IPA compliance is there. So what they do, right? They mask this data and then they will send it to the LLM. Okay. So for that reason, commercial LLMs, most of the companies they prefer. And the point that நான் சொல்ல வந்தேன். But open source though there is an advantage, right? But still the chances are high that the customers' emails or personal informations or confidential informations can leak with the open source LLMs. Commercial LLMs, they are, for example, OpenAI and the Google and Anthropic, they are giving the assurance, hey, you give me your data, I will process it, but I will not expose the sensitive information to the public. What I will do is, once your job is done, I will remove all the detail from my memory. புரிஞ்சதா? Are you able to understand, guys? So that is the advantage of Microsoft Copilot LLM இருக்கு இல்லையா? இன்னொன்று வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா Azure OpenAI. So in our company they are using Azure OpenAI. But it's costly, but data privacy concerns, right? If you have it, then you can go for commercial LLMs. அதர் ஆப்ஷன் இஸ், லாமா வந்து நான் டவுன்லோட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன், என்னுடைய லேப்டாப்லேயே நான் இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணிக்கிறேன், என்னுடைய சர்வர் இருக்குது கம்பெனி சர்வரில், அதை வந்து நான் வந்து இதை டவுன்லோட் பண்ணி எல்லா இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் இதில் வச்சுக்கிறேன், எல்லாத்தையும் லோட் பண்ணிக்கிறேன். ஸோ திஸ் llama which you download, that is available local in your server, right? So no one can hack that one. Only people have access to it. They can, they can get their personal information. So what are the open source LLMs are available? Like I said, Llama 3 is now popular, and Mistral, this is what I already discussed. I think Falcon one irukku. Falcon and Gemma and what a Dolly. It is absolutely free. It can run locally also. It's flexible for enterprises, but the reason, the biggest problem is, right, it needs infrastructure to run. Okay, it's not as powerful as your commercial giants like ChatGPT and all. Okay, again, there is a security threat here. Okay, it's not that safe. So now the question is, which one is better? When can I use commercial or open source? நீங்க இண்டிவிஜுவல் கான்ட்ரிபியூட்டரா போனீங்கன்னா, ஒரு டேட்டா சயின்டிஸ்ட், சீனியர் டேட்டா சயின்டிஸ்ட், இஃப் யூ ஜாயின் வித் a company, they themselves will tell you, hey, use Llama 3 man, hey, use ChatGPT man, API key so that you can use it. So you need to ask questions. Why are we using this one? Why do we need to ask this question? Because you are till your death, you are not going to be a data scientist, right? You need to move to the next level. Senior data scientist, and next level is architect, senior architect, director, data science architect. You need to move to the next level. Architect level, if you go there, right, you should know end to end. You need to tell the customer which one they can use it for what purpose. Now the question is, when can I, let's say you are in the customer's call, you are talking to, let's say you joined with Cognizant. You are in a business development call with the American customer. You are asking, you are part of that business development call, and the customer is asking, hey, Sheetal, tell me, why should I, which one can I use it? Can I use open source? Can I use commercial one? If you blindly say, hey, open source is, free, you can use Llama 3. Yeah, fine. Your project takes, almost 2 to 3 months time or 1.5 to 2 months time. And you're doing all the things, data translation, everything, you are doing masking, data masking, everything. And finally, what happens, right? Your data is not safe. Customer will get irritated. During the solutioning call itself, before giving the project to Cognizant, there is a solutioning call. They ask Cognizant, right? So what kind of LLM can we use it? Why you are recommending this LLM given our existing business? So they'll ask you all these questions. So these are open source, fine. So what are the pros and cons? You need to tell. Okay, depends on your use case. Okay, so depends on your use case. You can suggest them whether they can use Llama 3 or Mistral, or they can use ChatGPT. But most of them, they prefer commercial LLMs only because they can assure the security. They don't keep your personal data on a longer basis. Okay, probably you can request them to keep it for 90 days or 30 days or 0 hours also. As soon as my job is done, as soon as you reply to my customer email, you delete the personal information about the customer. That's all. It removes it. Okay, so in general, that is the best one. But those people think the cost is more, we cannot afford. Mine is, startup, or, just, 1 year back only we started the company. So we cannot afford using that one. Still, they can use it because the API keys are cheaper. Which API keys? The Cloudy and, the API keys are cheaper and reliable. There are some cases, yeah, full cost cutting. Banks also, they are using Llama 3, believe me or not. Because, yeah, so before using this, right, the Llama 3, all the things, they make sure that they have a virtual private network setup, private cloud, they have it. In that, they go and set up these things. Only the private net infrastructure cost is there. Whereas the token costs are, is zero cost, the token and all. Okay, now that you understood the public commercial LLMs and private LLMs, so far we discussed what? So what are LLMs and types of LLMs? As part of types of LLMs, we have seen general purpose LLM, domain specific LLM, and we have seen lightweight LLMs. And we discussed recently Llama and Mistral and Gemma. These are all lightweight LLMs. Even these can run on your mobile phone itself. Okay, and finally, we have seen the commercial LLMs and open source LLMs, the difference between these two. Next one is the important topic. So what is prompt engineering? Now that you have a fair amount of idea about what all these things, GenA, if you say, you attended a GenA training, you are a GenA, GenA engineer, you should be knowing all these things. Bare minimum thing, you should be knowing it. These are the bare minimum thing, you should be knowing it. What is prompt engineering, guys? See, here I asked this question, right? Can you please give me an overview about this script? Please give me at a high level what this attached script does. That's a prompt. What is prompt engineering? It's the art of giving clear structured instructions to an LLM. It is an art of giving clear, structured instructions to an LLM to get high quality output. To get an high quality output, we need to give the structured, clear instructions to the LLM. It's like talking to an AI in a language it understands best. If you give garbage, it throws back the garbage in, garbage out. Make sure that you ask the right question. Is prompt engineering a coding? One student asked me in the previous batch. Is prompt engineering is nothing but a coding? Do we need to write any script for that? No, not at all. Plain English, right? It is an instruction skill. Asking the right question, right? So you should know what to ask, how to ask, and how to guide the model. Okay, how to guide the model. So something like, right, you are so you have gone on a tour. Let's say you went to Kashmir, correct? And you do not know Hindi. Okay, and but still you somehow manage to ask questions, right? So what are the best sightseeing places, right? So you need to ask the right question, right? You need to ask so what are the best the sight seeing places, and you need to tell them, hey, I'm going to stay here for 5 days. It's already today half a day has gone. We are left with 3 to 4 hours only. Can you tell me the nearby sightseeing place? But if you ask general question, right, you will say, the best place in Kashmir is Pulwama. But the place where you stay, from there, the Pulwama itself, going there will take half a day time. By the time you reach there, it will be night time. You cannot see anything, right? Like, like you ask the people who live in that place, right? The right question. The same way, you need to ask the right question. Okay. So the question is, now, what is prompt engineering? It's an art of asking clear, structured, or giving clear, structured instructions to an LLM to get high quality output. If you ask nonsense, it will throw nonsense. So, why do we need prompt engineering, guys? Giving a clear, structured instructions, fine. And with that, we guide the model so the model can understand what we are going to ask and what is our expectation, fine. First of all, why do we need a prompt engineering? Because LLMs don't read our mind. They read only our instructions. Whatever I type it, right? It can understand only this instruction. Got it? See, I just show here. I did not share my full screen. Okay, 1 second. See, here I have given the instruction, right? LLM can understand the instruction. It cannot understand our mind. Like how you, ask a small kid for, every detail, right? You need to give every detail to ask questions with the kid, right? If you ask a kid, hey, how a camel look like and how a giraffe look like, what is the difference between these two? You will teach the kid with the difference, right? The difference between camel and giraffe, you teach the difference. Basically, you're giving the guide, right? And then when you show different photos, the kid can tell, hey, this is what a camel and this is what a giraffe. giraffe across the globe, right? How it looks like different varieties of giraffe. For example, elephant itself, right? African elephant is, big and it's a giant size. And some part of the globe you can see the white color elephant also is there, right? White color elephant, a dark color elephant, brown color elephant, different types of elephants are there. When you tell the kid how the elephant look like, first thing we say, big ear. It has a big ear and big trunk and tusk. It has, right? Similarly, you need to guide the model to get your correct answer. Okay? Because LLM can read our instruction, not our mind. Many think, right? Whatever I think, it can understand. Simply they will put some junk questions and they don't get the correct answer. For example, right? If I ask something like write about sales, it writes pages and pages about sales, right? Instead, instead of asking this question, write a 100-word. Write a 100-word summary for retail sales report. And what can we ask? Highlighting revenue, and then top three performing categories and growth percentage. If you ask, these specific questions, right? It gives you the correct answer. If you simply ask now, write about sales, it is waste of time. And also from the LLM side, it generates too many content, which is not required for us, right? All we need is a summary for the retail sales support and highlighting revenue and ask questions like, what is the business model of business model of Amazon and Walmart, and what are the differentiations, or which categories are driving their revenue. Or you can ask, refine the prompt. This prompt I'm going to refine it. Top 5 categories, that driving revenue, and also why customers prefer, okay. So okay, here, and also why customers prefer these two retail giants, and which one they choose more frequently than the other. And just go and put it here. These are very specific too. You are very particular about understanding, which categories are really driving their business or driving the revenue more. And of these two, Amazon and Walmart, which one is the top priority, or which one the customers gives the high priority, right? So e-commerce marketplace, 1P plus 3P, first priority and third priority, sells directly. Third party sellers list products. Okay, Amazon Prime ecosystem, Amazon logistics, everything. And business model, a brick and mortar, right? So here, now they have e-commerce presence, but they have a very big brick and mortar retail, big shop will be there, okay? 10,000 stores are there globally, everything is there. And top 5 revenue driving category, electronics, computers, Amazon. And but here groceries, look here. Groceries dominates more. Electronics and computers and general merchandise like home, kitchen, personal care, media, third party marketplace, AWS cloud services, general merchandise, right? So even here also, both of them are overlapping here. Okay, the apparel and footwear. Look here, but here apparel is not there. So why apparel and footwear, driving more revenue here? Because the customers go to the shop in person, and then they can wear the dress in person, and then they see, which one is good, right? They have the touch and feel kind of thing, right? Why customers prefer Amazon? Convenience, prime ecosystem, search reviews. Why customers prefer lowest prices? Physical store convenience. Okay, returns at store, no waiting time. Buy online, pick up in store. And then, so buy online is another feature, right? You can order the item, and then you can, once you order it, everything will be packed, and then they will keep it there. All you need is go and pick up, that's all. Make the payment, and then you can go and pick up from their, store, right? So that's all. You don't have to go there and pick up item, pack it. You don't have to have that headache. Strong grocery business. So which one do customers prefer more frequently? Amazon wins in, right? Walmart wins in. These are the categories. Okay, so no, we cannot say no. This one is great. This one is great. Both of them are good. Okay, Walmart is visited more frequently because people buy groceries often. Yeah, for that purpose you need to go. Correct. So here I have given this instruction. This is nothing but a prompt, giving the right information with a clear structured thing, right? You can get the correct answer. Okay. So what is a good prompt and bad prompt? This is a bad prompt. The below one is the good prompt. This one, and these are the examples for good prompt. Because your instructions are very clear and very specific. Okay, does giving good prompts improve the accuracy? Obviously, right? Right. If you ask the right question, you will get the accurate answer. If you give nonsense question, what will happen? It will not give you the correct answer, right? Let's say you make grammatical mistake, and if your English, the way you structured your English language is not that correct, right? It will get confused. It will not give the correct answer. So prompting is the interface. LLM is the brain behind the interface. Can we say like that? Yes. Prompting is the interface. Okay. And LLM is the brain behind the interface. Correct? No matter, guys, which LLM that you are using it, end of the day, if your prompt is unclear, your output will be bullshit. Correct? Since make sure that your prompt is clear and structured one. Otherwise, it is useless. So the prompt engineering is also backbone of modern generative AI. Hence you should be very good at writing the prompt clearly and in a structured manner. Different types of prompt techniques are there. So there are something like zero shot prompt engineering, and few shot prompt engineering, and chain of thought, instruction thing, instruction based tuning, something like that. Likewise, you have different types of prompt engineering techniques are there. That what we will do, right, in the upcoming session in the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we'll continue on that. Okay. So prompt engineering is also very, very important. Okay. So today what we discussed? Today we discussed about what are LLMs, right? We started with generative AI. I just gave the recap of that one and how it is different from AI. And then what are LLMs? And then, we discussed about types of LLMs, types of LLMs. And then we discussed about the commercial LLM and open source LLMs, the difference between these two. And finally, we have seen what exactly prompt engineering is all about at a high level. In this upcoming Saturday and Sunday, what we'll do is we'll discuss about the each and every type of prompt engineering with a real-time case study. Don't miss out this weekend session, okay? Fine, guys. Yeah, we have recorded this video also. What you do, right? You can watch this video. And upcoming Saturday and Sunday,